All right, Lemonheads, what's up? Welcome to episode 198 of Lemon City Live. As always, Lemon City Live is brought to you by Magic City Highlight. Magic City's 2020 season started on May 1st and will run through the end of November. For now, the court will stay closed to the public, but you'll be able to watch all the games in real time on YouTube, on the Highlight channel, as my dudes dance it out. If you need a sports fix, we highly recommend that you check it out. The Highlight channel also has a ton of other original content to help you understand the game and get you more familiar with the players in the league, just like Tanard Davis, who's down there acting a fool, not like Edwin Garcia, who's not a Highlight player, although he wishes he was. So just go to youtube.com/highlight channel, spelled JAIALAI channel. It's free to subscribe and you'll never miss a moment of the action.
There we go, Gus. So
I like it.
I think I did. My sign language was on point on that one.
It's true. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he spelled out highlight.
And you know how the governors, like when they're talking, they got the person in the top corner.
You're the translator.
I was doing that for you, Gus.
I don't know if you were signing or if you were crumping. Like, were you trying to battle me?
Like a crip, like a Bloods and Crip? Nah, man.
Yeah, bro. Hey, in the Bay, we're not in the Bay Area, but I'll serve you, bro.
He's wearing the LA hat, so you gotta talk to Edwin about that.
There you go.
I was representing there, you know. Nah, man. I guess Highlight Magic City Highlight, but we're back for another quarantine edition of the Lemon City Live podcast, episode 198, as we inch towards the big 200 here. We're happily joined back from the disabled list, the one and only. Tanard Davis is back.
This is the flu game episode. My bad. I got a bad back. Y'all gotta carry me. I'm a final score 30 in the fourth quarter, like MJ.
We got you.
That's right, baby. On today's episode, we're gonna recap the end of The Last Dance. We got some opinions on that. We'll catch up. Some sports came back. We got some things to talk about. Some actual real live sports happened.
That happened.
It happened. But first off, man, you know, it's always good when our boy TD is back and he's chilling in his lounge there in his big giant mansion that he's at. You know, so rocking all that sweet Canes gear. I like it. You're feeling pretty proud of today, huh?
I threw all that. I saw that stuff in the closet and threw it on, bro.
Threw it on.
It's even like a retro hat, bro.
I like it, bro. I like it, man. You look good. But most importantly, man, we're always happy to have you on the show. We missed you last week. So give us the highlight update. How are you feeling? How are you doing? And what are you looking to do here? Give us a little update.
Well, the season has turned out with a bang. You know, we have great commentary from Stu and give me 1 second. I just forgot his name. I forgot a guy named who's helping Stu with broadcasting. The Highlight channel.
He's doing a great job.
No, I know his name. Andrew.
There you go.
I don't know why I said that. Andrew and Stu are doing a fantastic job.
Here's how to remember Andrew's name, TD. You're a hurricane, and he's Andrew.
I've been working with him for a year now. But yeah, him and Stu are doing a great job with the color commentary. We have some more graphics. We actually have instant replay
that's awesome.
Somebody makes a good play when you watch on the YouTube channel. We also got some tutorials on how to play highlight and what the rules are. It's a really good season. Douglas is leading. Anderson is playing very well. We got a guy named Ikeda. He's playing well too. Vuelo is playing well. Myself, I was injured for the past 2 weeks. My back been giving me an issue. It's still giving me an issue, but you know I'm a competitor, so I try to get on the court. My mission this year, I want to win. Don't get me wrong, but I just want to play and give a good performance for the people who bet on me. But we're trying to make sure we do the social distancing. When we're in the casino, we have our chairs or our lockers spread it out accordingly. Scott, our CEO, is doing a fantastic job. Stu is doing a fantastic job. Our coach is practicing social distancing. So I think we're giving the city of Miami and the people who are watching the highlight on the Highlight channel something to watch that's very entertaining. So it's going really well.
That's what's up, man. I was watching the Rebote replay or recap.
We're both there. Recap. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey, yo, props, man. I like the production there, giving little weekly updates. Definitely.
Yeah, Lindsay is doing a great job with the production, man. Kudos to her. All that is her. Voiceover, everything is her. Her dad let her take that by the helm, and she's doing a great job.
She works hard, man.
I think we're doing so much when it comes to highlight and trying to promote it as a sport, not just a betting thing that you can do when it comes to making money. Our CEO is banking and hoping that we get the viewership of major companies like ESPN, Fox, or somebody who's looking for another way to put us in a slot and get more viewership when it comes to people respecting the sport, because it is a sport, regardless of the fact it's in gambling. It's a sport. And also, since sports betting is now not taboo anymore, I think it's a perfect way to try to insert us into the fabric of sports.
Exactly. And highlight is actually a legit sport. It's not like a wacky sport or something like that. They show fucking like dodgeball and shit like that and cornhole. You know what I mean? Why can't they have some fucking highlight?
I saw cornhole, and when I literally wanted to do a backflip, and of course, no disrespect to the cornhole. I'm just saying how ESPN can put that on something and consider it a sport, and then you have something like highlight that I'm sure we send them footage. They may not respect it the same way as like everybody else does, but we're going to get there in due time. Everything happens in due time. So all we got to do is do our job, get better as players. Put a good product on the court. So when those companies come knocking and say, hey, we want to promote you guys, the people who start watching this are going to say, oh my God, this is like, where has this been? Like, it just came from Mars. So we'll see.
Yo, but legit, like they got these like non-athletic people throwing sandbags into a hole. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they're covered in sponsors. I was watching because that started up too with this thing. They had the mask on in an empty room, just throwing sandbags into a thing. I get it. There's some skill there, but come on, like how is that on ESPN? And then you got actual athletes who train for, doing this into a thing over and over. No disrespect to those guys, but come on, man. That's like ESPN, the Ocho stuff. Highlights should get some play, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, at least if you're gonna mock the sport, because I'm sure they will, because they think the sport is crazy. Put it on Ocho. You know what I'm saying? Just the point of people watching it, we're going to get viewership, and then once they see like, okay, this is not a gimmick, this is not something that's like a fad. It has rich history to it. It has people who respect how the sport. It's a beautiful sport. People respect it. So we just have to get the people to watch it. And our CEO and Lindsay are doing a great job trying to get these people to watch it. So we'll see. We just have to do our part. The players have to do their part. They have to stay in shape. They got to be professionals. They got to be on point. So when we are ready to go live, we're ready.
And they really are doing a great job promoting the sport, man. The whole YouTube channel. If you look for a highlight GIF on Instagram, it's from Magic City Casino. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're doing a lot. Yeah, it really is. Any highlight GIF that you look for is from you guys. Like, they're doing a great job.
I talked to Doug a lot about the sport, and he's very pessimistic in a way about thinking that it's not going to be longevity. And I'm telling him, like, they're not going to put all this marketing. They're not going to promote this thing only for 2 years. They're thinking they're trying to run this thing like a major sport. Yeah. So you better prepare yourself to play this for a very long time, because for me, I'm gonna play until they tell me they don't want me no more. So I'm just gonna take advantage of this opportunity. But yeah, man, you hit a great point. If you Google highlight, we pop up. If you put a highlight on the GIFs, the GIF on Instagram, who pops up? Magic City.
Right, bro.
Yeah, Magic City.
So, we're doing it, and we're doing it bigger than all the other casinos.
Well, we're doing our part by, you saw me with my cesta on the cover of this week's show there, and Gus there looking all nice and tight in his blue jersey.
You look ready to go, Gus.
We're ready, man. We took those pictures. Yeah, we took those pictures before the season started, so we're ready. We're in game shape. That was a fun
seen you play the game yet, so you're probably on IR just like I am.
Hey, we'll get out there.
Let me tell you, man. We're a show about top fives, right? We like to say our top fives. One of my top 5 regrets of my life is not trying out to play highlight at Magic City Casino.
Me too, bro.
To be
Top
honest
5.
with you, you probably would have got a chance to play too. They probably would have hired you.
Damn.
Hell yeah, man.
They probably would have hired you because that window 2 years ago when it was bringing people in, all you had to do was just show a little bit of athleticism, and they would have taught you. And all you had to say is, "Hey, I know Tanard." They were like, "Oh yeah, you good then."
Well, I needed to know you before it started, though.
Yeah, that's true. I think we had just met you at that point.
No, 2 years ago. I've been with you guys.
Yeah, no, we met you after you started. After you started, that's when we got linked up.
I'm not talking about after you came. I'm talking about the year after the documentary. I'm talking
yeah, during the tryouts.
Yeah, because technically this is the 3rd year. So
yeah.
Anyway, guys, if you're watching on YouTube, on Facebook, wherever you're watching, man, be sure to click the subscribe button there. Give it a little share. If you got a comment, you got a question for the highlight player, man, put it in the chat there. We're going to roll into, if you got comments, concerns, complaints, or commendations about anything, man, put it on the chat. Let us know. But we're going to switch it now. We're going to go into the big, this is the weird thing, man. We're still in this quarantine thing. Bro, like, I'm gonna make an admission here, bro.
What,
dude?
I'm listening.
Bro, I don't know, man. I've been in this house for too long, bro. I'm starting to smell stuff, bro. Like, I feel like I've just, like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm losing track of days and shit, man.
TMI, bro.
Hey, you're all right because you get to leave the house, man. Yo, you guys are there. I'm working from home now, and bro, I'm just like.
That doesn't mean you don't have to shower.
I just lose track of days, bro. I'm just being honest, man. You
couldn't tell me 5-10 years ago when a person said, "Hey, I'm working from home." You would have thought that was the best job to have, right? Working from home.
Yeah, it would have been cool. Not anymore. Not as cool anymore. No. I definitely.
You want to be amongst everybody else. You want to take a lunch break, like a normal lunch break.
Well, I think considering the circumstances, yeah, man. Like, I got excited because we got a Roomba today. That just came in the mail. So, like, these are the things that I'm excited about right now. And now, you know, I'm losing something that I was watching for. Realize that for the last 5 weeks, every Sunday we had The Last Dance. Like, how nice was that? Let's just stop for a second and just soak that. TD, did you already see all 10 episodes, or are you behind?
No, I saw every episode. I watched.
How nice has it been for the last 5 weeks that we've had something to look forward to? Basically a movie, because it's 2-hour block that we're setting aside for it. How nice has that been, dude? Like, come on.
I felt like they did a fantastic job at ESPN with gathering all of that footage, with the sound bites, with the music. The music was very key, man.
No.
Oh yeah.
Like the music.
Oh, by the way, if you look on Spotify or Apple Music, they have playlists for the whole soundtrack on there, so you can dance to anything. If you have trouble finding it, hit us up in a DM or a message, and after the show, and I'll send you the link because I got them both, man. They're fire.
Yeah.
The music brought me back into the moment. It brought me back into 90, 93, 97, 95, because you remember those songs. But the one thing that I appreciate the most about that is how they gave us an inside look on how Michael Jordan prepared himself for opponents by psyching his own mind, like telling himself, like, this guy said this when the guy never even said nothing about him, and he goes out there and gives 40 points, and the guy even never did anything to him. And how, you know, we got an inside look on how Rodman, because I totally forgot about that. Rodman went to go WCW.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that. And I remember it right when he said it. And one thing I noticed that, and it's going to be something small, Michael Jordan tied his own shoelaces. And, like, you know, I'm thinking, like, he had somebody, this is me, man. Like, you're Michael Jordan. I'm thinking your Jordans already came ready. Lazy. Bro,
he's not Eddie Murphy and Coming to America, fucking sleeping with his bathers and shit. The royal penis is clean, your airness.
Jordan was a god, bro, back in the day. You come on, man. You know he was a god. So you telling me that I'm watching Michael Jordan, put his laces in his own shoe. I'm like, yo, where's the equipment guy for that? That's his job. So when Jordan goes to the bench, he goes to his locker. It's already ready. He knows what He has all like 4 selections he can pick from. All right, I'm gonna go with the 1s. I'm gonna go with the 5s. I'm gonna go. They're already ready. He can make the choice, and that's what got me a little bit. It's a small thing because me being in the NFL, when we got to the game, our shoes, our cleats was already in. Someone was laced, so we didn't have to worry about things like that. Jordan did that. This is a small little thing, but to me, I felt like Jordan, he don't tie his own laces, but he just put them on and go to the court.
I think I found that pretty interesting too. It was kind of it was kind of peaceful, like to see a guy, because you see how crazy his life is. How he can't go outside of his hotel room, how he lives in seclusion, yet he's the most popular guy, and all this mythology to the guy. But there is some type of like peacefulness about how he gets to the game and he just sits there and he has this moment where he's lacing up his shoes, like something so basic, like a little task, kind of like how everybody says, oh, if you wake up every morning and you make your bed, you've accomplished something for the day, and I'm like, shut up. But then I see Jordan doing that and I'm like, damn it, I'm gonna make my bed. But you know what I'm saying? It was, I feel you on that.
It makes him human. It makes him
yes
human.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
Like when I thought of Jordan, dog, honestly, like we didn't have social media back then, so if we got a glimpse of any basketball player, football player, it's like you had to burn that into your retina, because you're not going to know if you ever see him again. Yep. I remember seeing Patrick Ewing walking in the Coconut Grove when he was playing the Miami Heat, when they had the playoffs back then. And he was walking down going to the Cocoa Wall. He looked like a slender man because he was so tall. He was walking. I'm like, yo, we knew we were running into him. Me and my cousin trying to get an autograph. We ain't got an autograph, but he gave us a high five. And you're like, yo, nice. Like these guys are like gods. You know what I'm saying? So, seeing him being a human by just the basic thing, tying his own shoelace, it brings me back into like, man, like this guy was like the most popular guy next to even him, Michael Jackson, and probably Eddie Murphy at that time were the most popular guys in the Black community. So, yeah. So like,
he was at another level.
Yeah, it just made me feel more comfortable about him. I'm Jordan. I love Jordan, man. Jordan can never do wrong. Jordan can never do wrong. Jordan can go kick a baby in the face. the baby probably scored 2 points on him, and he wanted to prove a point, dog. That's how Jordan can't do no wrong, man. I love Michael.
And maybe he can't do no wrong, but I don't know. I'll tell you this. I agree with pretty much everything you're saying. I thought the shoelace thing was interesting. I thought the whole
I didn't even pick up on that.
I did, and I thought the whole like construct of everything, it all made sense, the show. But there was a couple of things like, everybody's talking about all the good stuff. Oh, it was cool. Oh, this and that. But I want to talk about a few things that I thought were a little like, okay, the whole thing is a fluff piece, obviously. This is all this whole thing is about building up MJ and making him look like, this god and everything. And they did a great job at it. I think they achieved that. But there was a couple of things that I take a little onus to, and it kind of bothers me, which is like, all right, bro, I get it. You're the most competitive guy ever, and you always want to win. But like, they kept finding a reason to say why he played so hard in every matchup that he had, and it got like kind of annoying, like, why did you play? So what was your motivation in that 97 finals against the Jazz? Oh, Karl Malone got the MVP. That's why I wanted to win, and I was gonna show him wrong. Like, come on, bro. Like, all right, we get that.
And when you can't say being a professional athlete, bro, you can't say that.
Because I don't know.
If you're playing an 82 game season, if you're playing an 82 game season, and you already know you're the best player in the world, you already know you're Michael Jordan, you got to find motivation in some type of shape or form. So if Karl Malone getting the MVP was gas on his flame, like all he needed was some gas, he already got the flame. That gave him more flame in order to go into that playoffs and dominate. Like, that's okay for a competitor, because you got to remember, you can we have bulletin board material. Like,
I get that.
So when a team says, "Oh, we're going to have our parade. This is the day of the parade," and the Super Bowl hasn't even happened yet,
Yeah.
You use that as inspiration or motivation, depending on how you want to say it.
I get that.
Michael Jordan, each game, he needs that. Because sometimes when you're playing an 82-game season, if you're playing against the Denver Nuggets, who's the worst team in the NBA, you got to find something in order for you to get on the floor and score 50 or score 40 to keep your name as the best player in the game. So I don't see nothing wrong with him finding people to point at to fuel his anger or his madness.
Yeah, TD, I agree with you, TD. Like, because that's what I picked up on also. It's like, yeah, you're Michael Jordan. You gotta find something because it's hard to just motivate yourself constantly. You have to find some sort of motivation anywhere, right? But I do think the documentary itself, it did reach a point where like every other thing was like, oh yeah, you know, this is what Jordan used, and I'm like, okay, yeah, we get it. He does that. Can we talk about something else?
I don't need to see each one thing, like the one, like when they were talking about the series against Seattle, right? And he's having dinner with, I forget who he was having dinner with. I don't know if it was somebody from Seattle or something, but anyway, he sees George Karl, the coach of the Sonics, eating at the same restaurant, something like that. And
no, it was actually on a basketball court. He saw him on a basketball court.
No, it was at dinner.
No, it was at dinner. They were at dinner.
Okay.
And he's like, oh, I know George Karl. We both went to North Carolina. We have ties. And George Karl just walked by him. And he's like, that's it. That's all I needed right there. I was motivated. And I'm like, dude, you're 72-10 that season. You don't need George Karl walking by and that being the principal motivation for you to beat the Sonics. No, you need it to. 72-10 is your motivation.
Yes, you do, Edwin, because the same guy who was drafted in the 7th round, who had no chance of getting drafted in the first round, and he feels like he should be the first round pick. He takes that energy every single week in football in order for him to go out there and play at a championship level. So the reason Tom Brady is the way he is, he finds every reason to play mad.
Yeah.
Tom Brady felt like he was the best quarterback coming in the draft that year. He got drafted.
You can't.
And he got drafted whatever round he did, but look what he's doing now. So
you can't. You can't for 15 years.
What happened?
You can't for 15 years only rely on self-motivation to be the best player in the world for 15 straight years. You gotta get creative.
To fuel you.
Okay.
So George Karl, obviously, I think he said it was fake, right? When he did that, I can't remember.
No, he said it happened.
Okay, so you're telling me that if you're walking by somebody and you feel like you're the best anchor at ESPN, whatever, but you're not given the respect that you do, and they give you an assignment to do and go, interview somebody, you're going to do everything possible to make that interview be the best interview ever. You're going to have your B-roll, you're going to have your edit looking like you're going to have your graphics, but each week you're going to do that in order to tell ESPN, hey, look, this is why I feel like I'm the best. So every week you find a motivation. You're going to see a female who you feel like shouldn't be on Sports Center that day, or you're going to use that as a motivation. So the point is, Jordan has to find a reason every single week in order for him to get on the court and dominate. Because if he leaves it up to himself, just to go out there and self-motivate, he'll be burnt out by week 15.
Okay, I'll say this: you have somebody agreeing with you here, but can you? And okay, again, I'm just trying to spin this around a little bit and see it from a different perspective. Can something be said about somebody who's that much better than everybody, who's so on top of everything, not having to resort to pet? Because to me, some of this stuff, the way it was portrayed on the documentary, seems extremely petty.
Then you gotta blame ESPN. You can't blame Jordan because
but Joe.
No, but you know what?
Jordan
maybe it is petty, but that's where Jordan had to go to find that motivation, because he even said it. There was some times where in the games where he's playing, but then as something happens and then he like takes it up a notch, because you can't self-motivate yourself to that extent constantly for fucking 15 years to play your hardest at every second of the game. You know what I mean? Like,
but you got
to make shit up.
There's a lot of guys that have had great careers, obviously, and they've been successful, and everybody motivates themselves differently.
But how don't you know they didn't use that formula? The only reason Jordan used that formula because ESPN promoted it. But
hold on. And I know that a lot of people do use that formula, but I also know that being like this. Like his acceptance speech at the Hall of Fame was an FU to anybody who ever doubted him. And it's like, dude, you're so big that even at this moment of self-humility and just thanking everybody for your own accomplishments, you're still going to be picking at people who doubted you. Like, that's one knock on Jordan, that his competitiveness almost turns into pettiness, and it rubs a lot of people the wrong way, myself included.
But that's why he's on route. But that's why he's sitting on the mountain by himself.
That's fine. That's fine.
Always be the
but I'm saying there's a lot of people that don't, follow at every footstep of his and adore everything that he does. And to me, I think a lot of people look at this and they're like, dude, did they really need to like show every single person that he had to use as motivation? Like, I felt there was way too much of that. You know what I mean? Like Carmelo, George Karl, that guy, that random Washington Bullets player in the 80s.
Every guy.
Like
nobody's free, bro. Nobody's free. Nobody's free. When you're trying to be the greatest of all time, because this is what you don't understand, Edwin. You're trying to put yourself in a conversation nobody else can go in. Kobe can't go in a conversation with Jordan. LeBron James can't go in a conversation with Jordan. And both of those players are petty. God rest your soul, Kobe Bryant. Shaq is petty. Shaq is one of the most pettiest guys in the NBA, but he's the most dominant NBA center of all time. Charles Barkley is petty, but he doesn't have a championship ring. No. So you can't use Jordan's formula as a knock on his success, because if he didn't use that formula, we won't be talking about Air Jordan, because his mother helped him get through that pettiness, because he didn't want to go see Nike. If he didn't let his pettiness take over, we would have been getting George from Converse or goddamn Adidas. So that's why Jordan is everything happens for a reason. That's why Jordan is he has his own. You have Mountain Rushmore and you have Jordan Mountain. Jordan is nobody else on that mountain. Nobody.
I get you. Again, I'm just showing a different perspective as someone who I love Jordan. I got a pair of J's right there. Okay, I'm a fan. I think everything, but I'm not an obsessive like, oh my God, Jordan. Like I've never been like that. I think he's great, and me watching that part just like.
I can't tell, because when you saw him at the baseball thing, you got googly eyes because you said, "Oh my God, it's Michael Jordan."
What?
When you saw him at spring training.
Exactly.
Of course. But like,
right then.
But I'm just saying, like, it's just, it's funny. I don't know if we talked about this, but I think I mentioned this to Gus. I really wish I would have like given him a fist bump when I saw him, man. I'm kind of regretting that part. Especially after watching.
You would have touched history.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Like I said, as I'm finding some stuff that everybody's talking about all the good stuff. I wanted to talk about the other stuff. You know what I mean? The other thing that I thought was kind of like, I thought that they painted, or let me not say what I thought, but what did you think of the portrayal of Scottie Pippen in the documentary? Because there's been talk, and he's been quoted as saying that he's been quoted and then he didn't quote it, but he's been let me try it again. He said that he didn't like the portrayal of himself in the documentary. How do you feel about that?
So in Jordan, straight out of Jordan's mouth, he said there is no Michael Jordan without Scottie Pippen. He said that. The only part where they portrayed him negatively is when he refused to come off the bench. That's the only time.
And that's his own fault. That's his own doing.
Exactly.
It's no editing.
And that is what it is. Everybody knew that happened. It's not like they made shit up or they showed something that nobody knew about.
Yeah.
That happened. And everybody knew about it.
And I thought he said. I'm sorry. I thought what he said about not even after all these years not owning up to it, not just saying, "Hey, my bad, it was a bad decision," but he says, "If it happened again, I'd do the same thing." And it's like
exactly. Yeah. So to answer your question, I never knew Scott. I never knew about that. That's one thing I didn't know, that he didn't go into the game in the last minute when he got into the playoffs, and whoever made that shot put him in the playoffs. But it was John Paxson, I think.
It was Kukoc.
Kukoc made the shot.
Kukoc, I'm sorry, Tony Kukoc.
And it was in the
I didn't know that. But that basically gives you a window of how Scottie Pippen is. He's somewhat selfish to a degree, and it's okay. because I can understand his pain when Michael Jordan is gone and he's supposed to be the guy, but Phil Jackson doesn't draw up the play for him. He draws it up for Tony Kukoc. And I would take that personal too. So, but his reaction after that, when he said, if I had a chance to do it all over again, I'll do it again. That right there shows me what kind of guy he is. And because if I had a chance to do it all over again, if I made a poor choice on being a part of a team and I take the sucker way out, if somebody give me another chance to do it, I'll do it the right way in order for myself to be respected amongst my fellow peers. So no knock against Scottie Pippen. He's the best number 2 guy that you could ever put on your team. Argument today is that, do you think LeBron James could have been a better number 2 to Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen?
No, dude. LeBron's the number 1.
The thing about it is, I agree he could have been, because LeBron James is a way better than player than Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen he's a really good small forward, but Scottie Pippen couldn't win championships by himself. Let's just get that straight.
No. Yeah,
so, but I think they paint the picture Scottie Pippen gave us. And it was, I'm sure, even when you see Scottie Pippen talk on ESPN, he's very mellow. He's very like cool, chill. So I'm sure the editors had to make him seem more engaging. They had to play around with his footage.
But I don't
he's
think
not really an engaging guy.
I think Scottie Pippen he comes off likable, like on ESPN on the jump and all that stuff. I don't think this makes him come off any less likable at all. I think
he's a very likable guy. Yeah. But what I'm saying, his energy as a person, a person that you want to see on TV is not there.
Oh yeah,
I won't miss Scottie Pippen on TV.
He's not like super exciting. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I'm assuming when they was interviewing him and talking to him about, hey, your experience with Michael Jordan, I'm sure he was like so mellow and nonchalant about it.
But his level of excitement is not the value that he brings to shows like The Jump. His value comes in like stories that he tells, or the way that he can analyze the game and shit like that.
Because let's think about it. If Scottie Pippen never played with Michael Jordan, he would have been a forgettable character in the NBA.
Like a lot of other people that played against Michael Jordan.
You know what I'm saying? No, see, to me, Dennis Rodman was never on if Dennis Rodman would have stayed Dennis Rodman on any other team, he would have never been a forgettable character. Like Charles Barkley is not a forgettable person.
No.
Charles Barkley is not forgettable. You love Charles Barkley. Mm-hmm. You know who Karl Malone is. You know who Tracy McGrady is. But I feel like if Scottie Pippen was by himself, he would have been forgettable. He would have been like Stephon Marbury. You know what I'm saying? He would have faded into Bolivia.
Maybe Sean Marion. Maybe.
Wait. Look, before anyone fades into Bolivia, let me say something here. You just mentioned something I forgot to mention before. I want to take a step back here. All right, so we're this whole pettiness thing. Going back to it, there's a reason. So, mad at Karl Malone for winning the MVP. But I thought it was very good that they showed who went into the team bus after losing the finals and congratulated Jordan in person. Karl Malone. I was like, yo, and it's like, you're going to be petty about that guy winning a thing, and he came up to you and congratulated you like a real man. And this is the same guy who, hold on.
Edwin,
remember, the Bulls complained about the Pistons not shaking hands and shit.
But he was Karl Malone when the Pistons were beating him. He did the exact same thing.
You're missing
he congratulated
the point of Jordan's statement, man.
He congratulated
no problem with Karl Malone. So Karl Malone going on the bus to shake his hand was not an issue.
Fire.
Even what Jordan even said, he earned the MVP that year. He played great, but I needed that to happen in order for me to have the fuel.
All right. Well, I after watching the show, one thing that stuck out to me, man, which was pretty interesting.
He's like the water boy. He has to visualize and attack.
Okay, when you put it like that, okay, now you're playing to my.
Yeah, I like that. I like that comparison. Yes.
Yeah. Now you're playing to my comparison. Okay, I thought this was interesting. So Jordan, he got cut in high school, or he didn't make varsity when he was a sophomore.
Yeah. Yes. He didn't make varsity a sophomore year.
Steve Kerr got one offer to play college, Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
Dennis Rodman got one offer also from a small school in Oklahoma.
Yep.
Scottie Pippen was the freaking equipment manager at middle of nowhere, Arkansas.
Yeah.
University, and all four of them were integral parts of this second dynasty. Mm-hmm. And Steve Kerr is the only guy to win 4 championships in a row, I think. some crazy shit like that. Bro, that's something, man. Like it takes you, like it shows you, man. It doesn't matter how you start, it's how you finish, you know. And even if it doesn't work out great, you see a lot of these guys that are hyped up, these Ball brothers and stuff that you start hearing about from the time they're little kids. The pressure. That's a different level of pressure. I get it. I'm not gonna knock that, but I think it was refreshing, you know, to look at it and understand it. I didn't know that stuff about Pippen in particular. You know, fucking equipment manager at the college level already. Like, are you kidding me, bro? What the fuck?
But once he grew 6 inches, and then the rest was history. Because he already had. He grew 6 inches in the summer. Look at you. He grew 6 inches in the summer, and he already had a basketball skill set. Yeah. So he was able to dominate after that. You know what? The one thing, you know, who's going to go down just a little bit closer to Jordan's excellency.
Yeah, Phil Jackson.
It's Steve Kerr. You know, as a coach.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, people don't say too much about it because we know Steve Kerr as the Spurs. I'm sorry, as the
Warriors.
The Warriors head coach. But he won 4 championships and won another 3 with the basketball team, so he has 7 in total. And
he's a beast.
And he handled everything correctly because, you know, I didn't even know his father was murdered in
Lebanon.
What's that country? In Lebanon.
Yeah.
So, and you know, all these stories that like you said, Edwin, like that piece this whole thing together, it makes it so special. And I'm glad they brought Steve Kerr last, because they could have put him in first. You know what I'm saying? But obviously it wasn't correlated going into the 1998 championship, so they had to find a way to get that in there. But they pieced him in so well, and they stayed away from obviously Warriors stuff. They didn't ask them, you know, how does this compare to the Warriors and all this stuff. They stayed away from that because the fact that they understand how important his shot was to win that 98 championship. You know, I can look at this documentary every month and not get bored of it.
Let me ask you a couple of questions there. Now that this documentary is over, you look moving forward since the Bulls. What would you want to see? Do you want to see a Lakers dynasty that continues off of this with Phil Jackson and what he was able to accomplish, you know, winning 5 more championships? Or would you want to see a spinoff with Steve Kerr and what he's been doing with the Warriors? Like, I think,
you know what though, that's a great question. That's a great question, Edwin. They have a lot of room to make this like a trilogy, because they can go to the Lakers and do that with them. And then after a couple more years, go to Steve Kerr when he's done coaching and talk to, you know, Klay Thomas and Draymond Green and Steph Curry and bring that together. So ESPN, I think, did something and made it more into like a trilogy. Like, okay, we're going to talk about the Lakers and what they're going to call it. You know, I don't know how they're going to call it, but they're going to give it a name and then find a way to put. Obviously, we're going to give Kobe his moment. Kobe's going to probably have 5 episodes by himself. You know what I'm saying? They can easily do that and find a way to, you know, make Shaq more involved. So I like that, Edwin. That was a great question, man.
I'm curious. I want to see. I think both would be interesting spin-offs, man. We should, you know what? Let's do a poll. Let's do a poll after we're done here on the. By the way, if you're watching, check out our new Facebook group that we just started. It's called the Lemon City Live Daily Lemonade. We figured, you know what? We go on Instagram and we have an audience there. We have an audience on Twitter. We have an audience on Facebook through the page. But we wanted to have a place where everybody can communicate at the same time and share things and not be limited to the limitations of the channel that they're using. Like on Instagram, you can only comment on somebody's post, but you can't share anything. You can't engage with them so much. On Twitter, you have a character limitation because, you know, you can only reply so much and you can't really put too much media. So we were like, you know what, let's just create a place. I know it's not for everybody, but if you're watching and you have Facebook, search Lemon City Live, Daily Lemonade. That's a great place that's a place where the 3 of us are active and engage with everybody. And at the same time, just create a community where, you know, people are involved talking shit. And that's what I want to see, man. I want people. What are you laughing at, Gus?
Long story short, we wanted to create a community where we can all engage with each other.
Yes. Okay, sorry. I'm giving the next. Man, all right.
Keep going, bro. You keep going, man. But hey,
you guys,
the piggyback what you were saying though, Edwin. You think they should do something like that with the Heat? When LeBron James came here? You know,
I think in due time. I think in due time.
Yeah.
I think I saw this. I didn't save it, but there was a list going around. I don't know who put it out. If it was ESPN or something. And they had listed the top big threes of recent era or something like that.
I saw that.
And it had Jordan, Pippen, and Rodman as number 1. But then I had a beef with who they put number 2. And it wasn't LeBron. It wasn't Kobe, Shaq. It was they had Tony Parker, Ginobili, and Duncan. Now, I know Duncan won 5 championships, and Parker won like 4, and Ginobili won 4 and everything. But I'm sorry. I never looked at San Antonio like – first off, I never even called San Antonio a dynasty. I think to be a dynasty, you got to go back-to-back at least once. They never did that. They got all their 5 championships spread out over time. I think it was a great thing what they did. I think they were a powerhouse, but I don't put them up in that same category. And as far as big threes, I thought they had Bosh, Wade, and LeBron at like 4 or 5 or something, somewhere in the middle there. I'll share it in the new group. I'll share it there and see what people think and whatnot. But
no, I agree, Edwin. That was a great. You know what? I agree with you twice today, bro. That's rare. That's very rare. That's rare. I don't know if it's my back, like going to my brain, but I agree with you twice today. Yeah.
You've been on the DL too much.
Ginobili and Tim Duncan, it was a great team, but I never considered them a big 3, me personally. So
never did either.
I give them the respects of the NBA because they were a great team, but not in the category putting number 2 as a big 3.
Now
I feel like they were consistent enough to win championships when there was like no other dominant team. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And if you're going to put them in the big 3 conversation, not number 2. They could have slid down.
Yeah, exactly. Throw them down. It was way too high.
Don't put them number 2. If you want to consider them big 3, fair enough. But they don't rank in the top 5. Hell,
not even. Okay, another one. So it came out today that the guy who delivered the pizza to Adam sick for the flu game, he says, "Yo, that's total BS." Like he's calling crap on the whole story. I don't know. We're factually unfactual. I don't fact check shit, so I'm gonna take the guy's word for it. What do you guys think? Do you think the people in some pizza parlor said, "Oh, this pizza's going out to Jordan"? I don't know how they would know it's going out to Jordan, other than they know he's staying at the hotel. But
they're not going to tell him. They're not going to tell him it's going out to Jordan. They won't.
The only thing I think they would know is like, oh, they're delivering it to the hotel.
What an NBA team is. Yes.
But even then, like, I'm sure they'd like, if you're Jordan's handlers, because you saw he's surrounded by like a tight group of people. I feel like they would have said, "Hey, we're gonna order a pizza." They should have gone to pick it up, or if they do delivery, they wouldn't have, like, guy here. You know what I mean? And then what the fuck?
Sketchy. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, like come on, man. Like they show up with the pizza, and then nobody touches it. I ate the whole pizza. Get the fuck out.
5 guys in the car. Come on, man. Like, come on. Now I'm kind of calling bullshit too. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying the story is not true, but 5 guys and cars weren't big back then. They didn't have like a fucking Yukon Denali. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, man. It wasn't like Amish people
and you in Utah too. You know what I'm saying? You probably riding in a fucking Pontiac Savannah, some shit like that. So I think Jordan did get sick. I really think he did get sick. I'm not gonna doubt that. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna say it probably was the pizza. It probably could have been some earlier, and then he mixed the pizza, and then they probably got him sick, or it could have been food. So, I'm not gonna say it didn't happen though, because Jordan, what when you probably would have said, oh, he want to probably put some more pizzazz on the game. Oh, Jordan plays sick in Game 7. He scored 42, and come to find out he was never sick. He just wanted people to say he was sick. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he was sick. He was sick.
Remember, Jordan can't do no wrong, bro.
I know. This is why I tread lightly with you guys, because I know one guy in particular. I got to be careful what I say about your airness. Gus, you were gonna say something?
I don't mind when you say it. Just just say factual shit.
I went you all the way, Gus. He cannot do no wrong. If Jordan come and slap me in my face right now, I ask myself, what did I do wrong? Extra, what did you do?
You don't ask yourself anything. You just say thank you.
I'll probably say thank you. Now I'm about to probably win some money. I'm not even gonna sue him.
Damn, dude.
No.
We good.
Nah, real talk. I'll probably be like, "What the fuck?" I would be weirded out.
Yeah, I'll probably ask for some shoes though. I gotta get some shoes.
Now, I'll definitely ask for some shoes. Now, with the whole flu game story, I thought, wow, what a great fucking mythology. Like this whole documentary was so fucking amazing. Like, because everything was just like, bro, this is a movie. Like, are you kidding me? But I thought it was funny. There was a former or a football player named Andrew Hawkins. I don't know if he's still playing or whatever.
I was with them with the Montreal Alouettes when I was in Canada because he's with the team for a little bit, and he also came to the broadcasting boot camp. So he's a really cool dude.
Oh, you know Andrew Hawkins? Oh, okay, cool.
He probably won't remember me honestly, but when I was with the Montreal Alouettes in Canada in 2010 because we had Coach Tressman as the coach. He was on the team, but he was hurt. He was dealing with an ankle issue. So after that, he went and got signed with the Bengals, and the rest is history.
Yeah,
but,
he's with the.
And I was also with the broadcasting boot camp with him that he articulates very well as a sports guy, and he was able to get picked up by I think he works with ESPN, and he works with he has his own Twitter podcast that he does every week. So big ups to Andrew Hawkins. But go ahead with your story.
Well, anyway, Andrew for sure remembers you because nobody can forget the presence of being in the presence of Tanard Davis. Number one. Number two, he sent out a tweet after the thing. I don't know if you guys seen the tweet, but it was awesome. He wrote, "My second year in the league, wild card playoffs versus the Titans. I got sick as fuck, 102 temperature, had to switch my room so I wouldn't get AJ Green sick. All I was thinking is I'm going MJ flu game on him. I had 2 catches for 15 yards and a fumble, and we lost."
Yeah, and you see what he does, because I follow him on Twitter too, and he does little stories, and he did a reenactment of Rodman one time. It was great, bro. It was great, man. And
bro, we got to get him on.
Again, he's doing a great job with his content, man. Like big ups to him, bro. He's doing a great job with his name.
Ah, man, that's what's up. But we got to get him on, man. I like that. I like, when you can look at it and from that perspective, I thought that was really dope. But all right, now we talked flu game. We've talked, my gripe with pettiness. But I thought the biggest reveal, maybe in the whole series, maybe in the whole documentary, the biggest reveal and the biggest news thing was what you saw in episode 10 at the end, when Jordan said that he was down to run it one more time if they were to do it,
Yep.
Now, obviously, Pippen left to the Rockets, Rodman got released, Kerr released, Jordan retired, and Phil, I believe, left.
Steve was traded to the Spurs.
Yeah, traded to Spurs. Mm-hmm. You look at everything that happened afterwards, but man, it seems like I don't know what he's trying to accomplish by saying this at this point in time, because man, this just left a lot of people going, "Yo, what the fuck? What do you mean you were gonna run it back one more time?" And then the fact that they didn't really dissect that as much as I wanted them to. So okay, you just said you would have run it, but you guys never talked about it, and the only real tidbit they gave you is that Phil says that what's the owner's name?
Jerry Reinsdorf. Yeah.
Reinsdorf calls him into his office and says, "Hey, if the job is yours if you want to come back," even though at the beginning of the season, which the whole Jerry Krause thing at the beginning of the season saying, "I don't care if you go 82-0, you're this is your last year." There was a lot of weird shit in there. But you guys are in the middle of you're going for 6 championships in 8 years and all this stuff. Why would you put this bad juju? I know there's egos and I know there's a lot of stuff involved and everything, but going back to it, the fact that Phil Jackson says that he did have this conversation, but yet there was no other information about it. How do you not go, "Hey, Jordan, Pip, Rodman, you guys that are important, Steve Kerr, come here, all you guys that are a big factor, let's just sit down. Is there a chance that we can do this, or are we just gonna stay quiet and ignore each other like a bitter couple and then just wash this away?" You know what I mean? That part.
To get to your question though, Edwin, it's easy to say, put it in that frame that once the championship was over, that these guys didn't communicate with each other. they didn't like the general manager. They already had a issue with how he conducted himself as a general manager, and it was more about the business instead of the players. Now you got to think about it. The owner himself knew the cap. He couldn't keep all these players. So in a owner position, you're not going to go to guys like Michael Jordan and all these guys to take a pay cut because you already kind of know the answer to it. You know what I'm saying? And so, and this general manager wasn't going to go to them either because he didn't want to go behind the CEO. I mean, not the owner's back. He already told Phil Jackson you're not going to come back, but the CEO is about to go behind the general manager back to bring Phil Jackson back. So there's so many moving parts that, and for one, you got a lot of chiefs that are in the kitchen trying to cook when the head chief who really coordinates everything, that's the owner, is the final say. So when he went to Phil Jackson and Phil said, hey, I'm not going to do it, he kind of, you think about it, was Phil's fault. Because if Phil said, I'm coming back, everything else would have took care of itself. So Phil not coming back is the only reason why this thing wasn't put together. So you can't put it on Jordan. You can't put it on Pippen. You got to put it on Phil because Phil he gave Phil the envelope. Hey, I want to bring you more time. Phil's like, nah, because he didn't want to get in with the GM again. He already had the issues with the GM and he didn't want to be in that room again with him.
But I just think if you got all these, but at the end it becomes a question of numbers, man. If you got Jordan, if you got Rodman, and you got Phil Jackson, well, obviously he was on the corner of Jordan. If they came in and said, look, yo, we want to do this. This guy doesn't want us to do this. I'm pretty sure they're going to listen to Jordan and the larger group as much as Jerry Krause was an important figurehead in creating all this stuff. I still think like they would have listened. I think we're not being told.
You're missing the point. Phil Jackson did not want to work with the GM anymore. So regardless of the fact, the GM had to go, but he wasn't going to fire the GM.
But I'm saying
he can't fire the GM because he brought 6 championships.
But you can't fire the GM. But if you're the greatest player in the world and the coaches won 6 championships and the rest of the team say, hey, we want to come back, but we don't want this guy back as great as the GM was, I think they would listen to the players.
Coming back without Phil Jackson. You keep
I know, but I'm saying if Phil Jackson said, I'm just saying, I think Phil Jackson had the clout.
Would have came back. If Phil Jackson would have came back, they would have came back.
I get it. What I'm saying is if Phil Jackson had said to the owner and said, hey, I would like to come back. If we get rid of the GM, I'll come back.
He wasn't going to do it, though.
I'm just saying that's the thing. I find it a little weird to throw that in at the architect of the documentary, like, oh, I had this conversation.
Because believe it or not,
all right.
Don't shit on the GM now. The GM is the architect of the.
For sure. I think the documentary painted him negatively too much.
You can't fire him, Gus. It's bigger. Believe it or not, it's bigger than Jordan. The team, the Bulls is bigger than Jordan. So you got to think about it. If you take away the GM, that team never happens.
Exactly. So like from the owner's perspective, I feel like he didn't want to. Like he felt like Jerry Krause could have built another championship potential team. Maybe he wasn't gonna like. Obviously, you can't ask him to build what he had just built, but he probably felt like he could put him in position to maybe win another championship down the line, and he didn't want to sacrifice all the years of the future for just one more season. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's probably where he was coming from.
Exactly. So if Phil would have came back, it would have been a toxic environment between him and the GM. Automatic. If Phil knew that.
I think it's fair to say that if
coming back is the reason why this thing never happened.
Well, I think it's fair to say that if they did come back and run it again, Krause wouldn't be there. I don't think unless he would have. He would have had to have been like, all right, I was wrong all along.
He would have probably walked out on his own. Yeah.
So now let's look at this. Who won the championship the following year?
The Spurs.
It was strike. There was a lockout that season. They beat the Knicks.
It was a 55-game season. So the age of the Bulls players wouldn't have played a factor. Pretty like not as big.
Yeah, it would have helped them out. It would
have been beneficial. Now. Out of it, which I thought this was interesting too. Obviously, the Bulls, in their whole run through the 6 championships, the only time they faced the Game 7 was twice, and against the Pacers, right before the Eastern Conference Finals. That was the last time and only the second time that happened during the run. That's impressive. I can't, can't fuck. There's nothing you got no answer for that, man. You LeBron got to a game 7. So, but anyway, I think that team, because the way it was painted in the documentary was that Pacers team was probably the toughest challenge that they had in the East, especially throughout the 6 years that they won. That was a team that they didn't match up well with. They struggled with. I mean, Reggie Miller. I mean, he was all over the place. You had the Duncan Dutchman. You had everybody. Now they ended up getting bounced in the first round by the Knicks the following year in the playoffs
in '98.
Yeah, they got bounced in the first round and they were the 1 seed because the Knicks were an 8 seed, and obviously it was just the lockout shortened season. But if they say the Bulls came back. Let's say, I think if it would have happened, I think everybody would have come back except Pippen. I don't think Pippen he signed that contract early on in his career where he wasn't getting paid, and they made a good emphasis of showing that he was underpaid. But you signed that contract. Jordan signed a contract that was similar. He just got paid a little more, and then once his contract was up, he signed those $30-something million a year contracts, 1-year deals. So I don't think Pippen would have come back for 1 year under a small thing like that. They wouldn't be able to afford him. I think Pippen, no matter what, he was going to cash in that big paycheck. You know what I mean? And rightfully so. He's been this guy, and he did. He signed this huge deal with the Rockets right after. So I don't think he comes back. But I still think you could have gotten Rodman, Kerr, Jordan, most of those guys, maybe picked up somebody. I heard I was listening to some people talking this week, and they were saying that Krause was actually really, really big on Tracy McGrady. That he was real high on Tracy McGrady, that maybe he could have put him on. So who knows? I mean, it's one of those things that maybe they could have filled it in.
I personally believe Pippen would have came back.
You think so?
Pippen would have, because one, it was a shortened season because of the lockout.
Yeah.
And two, I'm sure they could have padded his paycheck the same way they did Jordan. Yeah. They could have because the season was shortened. And they could have found a way in a contract, depending on how the CBA was structured, to give them more money.
Yeah, would have signed a 1 year contract. Probably.
Yeah, with a 1 year, probably would have gave him like double, like $15 million that year, just for 1 year. And I think that would have made him happy. He still would have got his big payday because I don't think that shortened season would have affected his market value because he's still coming off of 6 championships. So I think he would have came back for the 1 year because Jordan would have spoke to him as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was about to say. I think Jordan, the influence of Jordan would have been a big thing. Now, the question is though, would they have won the following year? Because that Spurs team, bro, you had a rookie Tim Duncan, a seasoned David Robinson who was, on his downhill, but he was still a force. Sean Elliott was the guy over there that they had, was one of the shooters. That was a good squad that would definitely not match up well.
John Avery had the point guard.
Yes, I think, man. So, which leads me to think, and I think the consensus is that the Bulls, they keep making this analogy. You always want to leave a party 15 minutes early, not leave a party 15 minutes late. That's the analogy everybody's been using all week, and I think it's perfect for this. And I think even after all this stuff and after everything they said, could they have run it back and won 7 and made it a 4-for-4? Maybe. But if it didn't happen, then I think there's more.
You gave an analogy saying that you rather leave a party 15 minutes early than.
Yeah, I think they did right. I think they did right the way they did.
But you never thought about this. What if it's your party? You ain't got to go nowhere. And it was the Bulls party. It's the Bulls party. They were still the reigning champion. They were still the people that people feared. They were the team that people feared.
Yeah.
And either way, they still would have been the best team in the East. The only team I think that would have gave them a go was the Pacers. Even though the Pacers lost against the Knicks, the Knicks had a strong team. But when you play the Bulls, you bring your level up just a little bit more. And I think the Pacers would have played the Bulls much harder. And they underestimated the Knicks. I'm just going to say that they underestimated the Knicks. That's why they got blown out. But the thing is, though, I think the Bulls could have ran it back. I personally believe that Jordan still had a good 2 years left. At his prime. And he could have took the Bulls. I think he would have won that year. The year after that, it would have been up there because Houston Rockets was still good. The Knicks was playing really well. The Spurs was playing really well. So people would have called up to the triangle offense. And then you got a young Shaq, and Kobe who are
2000 was Lakers.
Well.
2000 was the Lakers' first Lakers championship.
Too, so. Yeah. So
I think
I was listening to Wilbon, and usually I don't agree with Wilbon because he's such a Miami hater. He's such a Miami hater, so I can't stand the guy. But he actually made a good point. When you're playing in the park, you keep playing until somebody beats you. You know, it's just next. Who got next? Who got next? And the game got robbed of that.
Yeah. I'll give you that. Yeah. I'll give you that. But all right.
I want to answer this question right here.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Okay. So is there a GM today that could pull that move and not get fired?
What movie he's talking about?
I'm assuming he's talking about the 82-0.
Yeah, about getting rid of Phil Jackson, even if he would have won all the games. I think maybe Pat Riley could probably get away with that.
Well, here's the thing, though. Pat Riley is a team president. He's not a GM. I think if we're sticking strictly to the GM aspect, I don't think anybody could do it. I think this is now.
You know what? I really think so. I'm sorry for cutting you off, Evan. This is why he made that team. If he would have walked it, like if he was a GM coming outside into that situation and start taking people apart, and he had no reasons, he had no influence on putting that team together. No, he was the one that constructed that whole entire team. If you're the GM that constructed it, you are the GM that can break it apart. So I think if a GM, like say for instance the Warriors, if a GM who built that team together and decided, hey, I want to get rid of Draymond, I want to get rid of Trey, he can do that because he's the reason that built that team. So I think some GMs can still do that personally. Yeah,
I think you have to have a body of work that comes close to what this guy had to then be able to tear it down. But first off, does anybody here know who the GM of the Warriors is?
The logo.
No, it's not Jerry West.
It's not Jerry West?
No, he's not the GM.
No, Jerry West is with the Suns, I think.
I think he's with the Suns, or he was in Memphis last time I remember. But anyway, it's not Jerry West. The point is we don't know who it is. And what's happened is that maybe I agree with what TD said. The Warriors is probably the closest example we have to someone being maybe in the position to do something like that. Mm-hmm. But even then, I just think that right now, this is such a player-driven league right now that if the players want something, the owner is right now how it is. I think in the 90s, it was still a team business first, players second.
Players didn't have that much power as they do today.
Exactly. But, man, with guys like LeBron and Durant and everybody having so much potential, and the fact that they have not just so much power in what they say, but who they bring into their teams. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You got guys that are the players are the GMs. LeBron is the GM in the Lakers. He's talking to the guys. He's doing the stuff. He's, saying, hey, come here, come AD, I got you. So I think the actual GM per se, you can't. He's going to be, overruled by the owner who's going to be leaning and, siding with the players. I think that's what it is. Great question, though, Eben.
But to get back to what you were saying, though, Edwin, quick, let me pick it back on a little bit on that. The only way a GM can do it, if he built the team from the bottom up.
Yeah.
He's the only person that can break it apart. And nobody won't give him shit about it because he was the one who orchestrated it. But if you're a GM that comes in into like the Miami Heat with LeBron James and Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh already won 2 championships, and you win one with him, and then you start breaking apart, you're gonna get lynched in the city of Miami because you can't do that. So,
I think so. I agree. But anyway, I thoroughly enjoyed The Last Dance. I think a perfect example of leaving a party too late, 15 minutes late, was Jordan coming back as a
wizard.
Yes.
I mean, I got the jersey. Sometimes there's some whack ass late parties, but you still had fun. So I got the jersey, and I'm happy that I got to see him play that year. That was the only time I got to see Jordan play in person. So I'll take that with me. But yeah, I think that covers it. I think
I hated it when he came back. I hated it.
Yeah, it was tough to watch at times. It was tough to watch at times.
See, that Jordan wasn't trying to find extra motivation everywhere.
Exactly.
That's why he didn't play like Jordan. Exactly. He wasn't trying. He wasn't trying.
I didn't like it.
All he wanted to do was
way to not be petty at the worst time.
I know, right?
Bored. He was so bored.
He was
tired of being the owner of a team. He wanted to go play basketball.
That was his motivation. I just want to be an owner. He doesn't need to win to be an owner. You know what I mean?
And he's the owner now, over there.
Yep.
So, but
hey, you know what's so funny though?
Yeah.
Fun fact: Jordan is worth more than the old Bulls owner now.
Probably.
So the owner used to own the Bulls back in the day when Jordan was playing. Jordan is worth more to him right now.
Nice.
That's crazy.
Impressive. That's impressive, man. But anyway, let's wind it down here a little bit. I want to thank everybody who's been watching so far. Thank you guys. Remember, like us on all social media. There you go, the translator there. Like us on all social media at Lemon City Live or in lemoncitylive.com. And join the new Facebook group, Lemon City Live Daily Lemonade. It's on our page. You can find it in the group section. And if not, just hit us up here in the comments and we'll send you a link. But anyway, before we wrap up, we started this week to get back to a little bit of normality sports-wise. Everything is still weird. But we're starting to finally see some live sports. We had Bundesliga, we've had Korean baseball.
And it's not a Hulu commercial, I promise.
Yeah, we have live sports. They just announced that they're going to do the Belmont race, the Belmont Stakes. The horse race is coming back. It's going to be the first leg of the Triple Crown. I forgot the date that it's going to be on.
Nice.
But the common theme of all of this stuff is that it's being done with no fans.
Yeah.
And I think it's a little Mario. Yeah, you talk about Jordan. He's going through the motions here. But I think right now what's happening is, you're seeing these sports wind up and start up again. You had this big UFC fight that everybody was, all jacked up about, but there's no fans. And this is going to be a normal for a while. We still have to keep our social, and aside from all the sports stuff, like I'm hoping and hoping that we can get through these reopenings without having a big setback that's going to take everything back.
Yeah,
we'll see. That's to be determined. But in the meantime, and it's with no people there. And I wanted to talk. What is that? How do you feel about it? Like, how did you said you watched the game, Gus, right?
Yeah, I watched Bayern Munich versus Hertha.
I watched like 5 minutes of the Dortmund game.
Yeah,
couldn't watch it, man.
Really?
Could not watch it. It's too weird for me, bro.
I wish I watched that game because, bro, that Holland kid. His name is Holland, but that kid, he was on a tear at the beginning of the season, and he picked up right where he left off, bro.
Yeah,
that kid is the next Mbappe.
Oh yeah, that kid's good, but again, we're watching a game with nobody in the stands, though.
I don't give a shit. I'm not watching the game to watch people in the stands. I'm watching the game to watch the players. Fuck people.
Okay, but
exactly.
Okay, all right, I get that. But did you not see that? Like when you're watching the broadcast, you can hear everything. You hear the coach. You hear people talking. It's just the audio of it, the acoustics of it is horrible because you have this big stadium, so you hear this cavernous echo, and it's just I'm missing Bro, we talked about this a few weeks ago when we did the wrestling show. Watching wrestling without the fans is just weird, man. And I'm having a hard time watching these sports without hearing the noise.
The question is, Evan, would you rather have that or have nothing at all?
I think I'd probably still go with nothing, at least right now. I'm being honest.
You're the person saying you're tired of being in the house. So
I know.
Go without sports if you had an option to watch sports without fans?
No, but I don't want watered down bad sports. It's like, okay, I'll give you an example. It kind of feels like, what do you mean? What are you looking at me like that? Well, it's to me. Stop it, Gus. I can't stop doing it. It's to me. It's like in 1994. I know I'm going back a long ways, but it's when the baseball strike happened. You had replacement players. It was watered down. It was weird. It wasn't right. It's to me that element was missing, and the element in '94 that was missing was the actual players. You had empty stands and people. Nobody was going to go watch these guys. Now we're getting the real players.
You're comparing a lockout with guys who are being or standing for more money or more respect, and with replacement players, and with the players who actually play, who are the professionals who train every day, just have to play without fans. You're still going to get great play because they're going to be competitive. They're not going to lay it up. I guaranteed you this, Edwin. When the NBA comes back, this is going to be the best NBA you get in a long time because these guys are going to be in shape. They're going to be motivated, and they're going to have a lot of guys who are not healthy, and you're going to get the last best. I'm thinking they're going to play 10 games and then go into the playoffs. This is going to be the best playoff basketball that we have seen probably since the Jordan days. I guaranteed you that.
Yeah. See, I agree with Mario. It's easier to get into the games with fans, cheering against you. And I'm glad I got somebody on my squad.
I agree with that, but not to the point where it's better to just not watch sports. You know what I'm saying?
Now, I'm being honest. I tried watching the soccer. I didn't like it. I didn't want to watch cornhole. I wasn't into that.
No, dude, let me tell you, when I was watching that Bayern game, I forgot which player it was. I think it was Alphonso Davies. He did a fucking sick ass move, I think he nutmegged somebody or something like that, and I got just as excited as if there was fans in the stadium. I was
everybody's different. Everybody's different. I'm again, we're factually unfactual, and we don't fact check shit, but I give you the facts, and my fact is I didn't like it. I watched it. It was weird. I couldn't get into it. I tried putting it on mute. That helped a little bit. But then it felt like I'm half-assing shit. I don't like watching stuff on mute.
So if you go watch a spring football game, if you go watch the Canes in their spring football game where you can't, it's like you're watching it like on the field. There's no fans in the stands. Just watch it. You tell them you can't appreciate that?
I could appreciate that because I know that that's a one-time thing. That's a spring game. I don't want my regular season and everything to be like that. It's just weird.
This is going to be a temporary thing, though. This is not going to continue to be fair.
I know, and I'm just saying it. I don't like it. I'm grateful that we have something.
Right, like it. You got
I'm grateful that we have something, but I'm not appreciating.
Edwin, I want to hear you being grateful, bro. Let's be grateful that sports are coming.
I'm always grateful. I'm grateful that you're here. I'm grateful that you're playing highlight, that you're happy. I'm even grateful for this son of a bitch over here that's looking at me. I'm grateful for all of you guys. Stop doing that, Gus. But it's what are you doing? It's like the Brady Bunch show here. But yeah, she's with you guys. It's better than nothing. It's just weird, and she's excited. I was excited about watching NBA games. Danny's got some comments. Players need to make a playlist. Maybe that'll help. What if they pump some sound?
That's a great idea, and they just got to probably pay the person whose rights is to play the music. But I like that. That's a great idea.
Yeah, I play some music. What about this? What if they were to pump in artificial crowd noise?
Yeah, that too.
I could be kind of in that. Huh?
What if they accidentally play a laugh track though?
Hey Gus, come on,
Gus. Cheers. Don't leave him hanging, Gus.
Don't leave me hanging, bro. Come on. Hey! Oh, you want some? I'll pour some on you.
I try to knock it down.
All right, we're getting really corny. But I'm just, like I said, I'm being honest. I wasn't excited. Maybe it'll grow on me. Maybe after a couple of weeks of this, it'll get better. But I'm just, again, my initial reaction is not crazy about it. I kind of wish I'm still at a point where I would rather not have sports than to have weird sports. And to me, this still feels weird.
What's weirder than this though?
Sex dolls in the stands. Yes.
That's not Evan joking around. That actually happened in Korea.
Yeah.
FC Seoul. They put sex dolls in the stands, but they dressed them up like people or whatever.
Yeah. But I don't have a problem.
They didn't just use mannequins. They used sex dolls. Who has that many sex dolls? That's what I want to know.
I mean,
sex dolls come from, they come from Korea, right? They're made there, so they have a large amount of them.
Some of these are pretty impressive looking. I mean, did you not watch?
They're lifelike.
Watch Little Dicky on Dave?
I haven't gotten to that episode yet.
Oh, dude, no spoilers. Did you watch it, TD? You know what I'm talking about? Have you watched Dave on FXX?
I never watched Little Dicky episode.
Oh, dude, you gotta watch it, bro.
I'm like you right now on Little Dicky. I gotta catch up.
Yeah, it's all right. Well, anyway, there's the sex doll reference there, but some of these dolls are pretty impressive, man. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, well, okay, but what's wrong with having some anatomically correct dolls out there that are pretty, as opposed to just like the inflatable ones that just sit there like this and don't move. I didn't have a problem with it. And now, if the sex dolls were out there naked,
they're trying to give the players some type of motivation. I'm okay with that.
That's true. That's true. Maybe that's what Jordan should have done to motivate himself during the Wizards' time. Sex dolls
on the bench.
Yeah. It probably would have been like, yo, that sex doll said it was better than me.
Oh, game on.
So, yeah.
He goes to scores 50.
The double nickel sex doll game. He's gonna do some of that. But I'll see. I mean, I'm curious as to how, if they're gonna do any of this stuff. Like, I really think they should at least play some music, man. I'm
sure they got a plan. I'm sure they got a plan. I'm sure they do.
Now, I heard.
You should hire a DJ. I know a guy.
I know this guy too. That guy on the no, that one. There you go. No, what's it called? So today also, when we're talking about this coronavirus and how it's affecting sports, I don't know if you saw this, Gus, but they tested like 200 and something players or people involved in the Premier League.
Yeah.
They had 6 positive tests come back.
It's not bad.
But here's the problem though. And here's the other thing when they talk about all these other sports.
What teams do they play for?
Hopefully Liverpool. If one person gets sick in any of these leagues, what they're doing is they have to stop everything, and they have to quarantine everybody that's involved. If you have people that are still testing sick, like, it's not looking like that league is going to get off the ground, because you got to have it fair for everybody. If you got a team that's suffering or is being, hampered by the virus, you got to set the same thing for everybody. So if the virus is still within the league like that, man, I don't see the Premier League picking up or that level of soccer. And I'm curious.
It's going to pick up, because you know what's going to happen? We're going to get to a point with this coronavirus that we're just going to learn how to deal with it and self-quarantine. Like, we're going to have to be at a point right now that I understand that the virus is serious and it's very contagious, but we're going to have to find a way to operate accordingly and be able to function with the virus, because you can't. The way this virus is structured, that it's in the fabric of our society. I don't think it's ever going to go away. So with that said, teams, businesses, schools, governments are going to have to find a way to just function with the virus. Because just think about it, Edwin. If you're in the middle of a season and one player tests positive with like Liverpool, and Liverpool played 4 other teams the past 4 weeks, they're going to have to stop all those games. And that's not realistic if you're trying to conduct a season. So with that said, I think I'm hoping that these teams, these owners, these sports franchises are saying that, okay, we understand the coronavirus is something serious. We're going to have players sign waivers. We're going to have players sign an agreement knowing that, okay, if you are tested positive and the team is still going to orchestrate the season, are you willing to separate yourself from the team and let the team go out and continue to play, with those players signing an agreement saying, hey, we know he's positive, but I'm still going to go and play. The only people that can't voice is the families of those players' teams, because the family can't speak. Like, you coming home to me and this guy had coronavirus, I'm risking my son, my daughter, my grandmother, whoever lives in my household. You can't speak for them. And that's the thing that's going to probably be a little bit somewhat complex. But I personally believe that we're going to have to play with this virus. We're going to have to, because business, the bottom line is money.
Yeah.
And money is bigger than the virus.
Yeah. And now a picture from the Tampa Bay Rays was on a show, and they were talking about, and he's like, no, man, he's basically, you got billionaire owners asking millionaire players to take a pay cut, so that they can do this and risk their lives so that, people can make some money here. And it's kind of becoming a bad look for them overall. And nobody's looking good in this because of what's being said. But again, you mentioned money, and that's a huge thing here, man. Like baseball right now, they're trying to salvage anything right now because this happened right at the start of baseball season. They got affected. Basketball had a part of the season that if they don't finish their season, they could still push it back and wait, but they had something already. Baseball's in a tough predicament. This hit them, right in the middle, or right at the start of their season, and it could wipe out their whole season if they're not careful. Now they're trying to do some stuff and they're, scrambling, but it's gonna be interesting how I think a year from now, when we're doing episode 300 or this, and we reflect on how sports are a year from now, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be real interesting to see, but. I do think there's going to be some level of dealing with it and adjusting with playing with the virus, but in the end, it's tough. It's tough. It really is. Guys, I put on the chat, both YouTube and Facebook, the link to the Facebook group. So if you're there, click on it. Be sure to search for it. If not, just look for it. It's called Lemon City Live Daily Lemonade. So. I want to create that. I know you guys cut me off and you said I ramble on too much, but I really want to encompass what it's about. I want that to be a place where everybody can go talk shit. Doesn't matter. Because here's the thing though. I got friends on there from my military days that are from all over the country. And I don't want it to feel like a Homer thing where it's exclusive to Miami people. So if you're watching the show and you're one of my buddies that lives in Detroit, you're one of my buddies that lives in Arizona, on the West Coast, wherever it is, feel free to invite all your friends into it, man. I want this to be a collective of people where, that are fans of sports and, that we can all just share it. And it's much, I found that the best sports talk conversations I've ever had were when I was surrounded by people from other places. So that's kind of what I want to create here.
You got different perspectives.
Exactly. Different perspective, different things. That to me is the best conversation. So I feel like this is a great opportunity and a great thing to do. So if you're in the group and you want to invite some friends, I had a friend of mine who messaged me. He says, "Hey, bro, I invited my uncle in the group, and then he invited a bunch of people. Is that cool?" I was like, "Yeah, bro. Like that's totally cool." So by all means, go on there, check it out, man. And at the same time, I want to use that the same way we do with WAFs and their group. I want to use that as a content bucket for show topics, things like that. Anything you guys want to talk about. Making it a more inclusive show with the people watching it. So it's today's the start. A few weeks from now, we'll see how it's growing, but I think it's going to be a cool thing, man. So for sure, if you're on there, share it, have other people join it, and it'll be a lot of fun. So guys, right. I think we've run our course here. TD, so happy to have you back, bro. See you guys. So let me punch Gus. Boom, boom. There it is.
So violent,
for the extreme close-up. Oh, hey. Oh, there we go. Hey, guys. All right. So, there's the camera. Oh, there we go. Picture from the banners where I'm like, or what? No, I'm like, and Gus is like, All right, I'm the only one doing it. Fuck you guys. Anyway, so. Last words, comments, complaints, bitches, moans, anything?
Nope. I'm going to go stretch and get ready for it tomorrow.
There you go, bro.
I'm actually pretty excited for the next 3 30 for 30s that are coming out. One is about Lance Armstrong. One is about Bruce Lee. The other one is about Mark McGwire versus Sammy Sosa's epic home run race.
Yep.
Definitely. Black Sammy Sosa. Black Sammy.
Yeah. I'm definitely. Oh, and check us out. Our next episode. Our next episode is gonna be on Friday. So if you're watching there, it's what is this one-on-one stream? Gus versus Danny pay-per-view. I'm down. Let's do that. One-on-one stream. So yeah, man. Oh, I want to do a little Twitch. I want to do some gaming. I want to do some esports stuff. We did a little poll in the group, and we found that people are interested in marble racing. I don't know about that, but we'll try to figure all that.
Let's talk about it on Friday, man. For our first ever Lemon City Live happy hour episode.
Yeah, man. We're gonna be chilling. It's gonna be laid back.
Every Friday. Everybody there, you gotta have a drink.
If you want to be on the show, hit us up. Just got to have a drink. That's what you got to have. That's the thing.
And my battery is about to die.
Go. Bye, guys. Thank you all for watching.
All right, guys. I love y'all. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow, man.
Guys.
Later.
Bye. Laters.
All right.